Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet today, and this is what it says in my notes: Codger cage fighting. Folks will remember my lamentations associated with the Stone Ape podcast and my co-host Heron Stone. This continued on for the past couple of weeks. I recorded a podcast with Heron, which was picked up by Lorenzo Haggerty of the Psychedelic Salon. Lorenzo used the audio. I wasn't really expecting him to use the audio in the way that he did. He mentioned my name, but he didn't mention Heron's name. Heron took offense at the way the audio was used, and to be fair, I can see where Heron was coming from. I tried to negotiate a series of ways in which Heron and Lorenzo could come to some degree of agreement. I mean, Lorenzo initially contacted me very much in an apologetic form, but I think through the Heron interaction, that kind of fell on deaf ears, and the whole thing fell apart quite splendidly. And in the end, I think Lorenzo seemed to blame me for some of the circumstances, even though I was trying to negotiate this whole thing. And just taking a step away from this whole circumstance, I don't do podcasting for anything more than to try and get information out to folks. I mean, people might assert that there might be some ego-related element to this thing, but I'm not paid to do this. I do it purely for, some sense of community interest and whether or not you can grow communities. But really, when this thing is about elderly people fighting one another and being pig-headed and just not communicating for really stupid and ridiculous reasons, that's not fun. That's not what I'm here about. And when this kind of hostile blowback associated with this, and I've got to try and work my way through this, the whole thing is just stupid. Now, normally I am in Heron's position. Normally there are, 3 or 4 parties, of which I am one who has been in some way defamed horribly, and then everyone else kind of leaves me to it. This was certainly the nature of the Wargaming podcast, where the sponsor took exception to my review of a particular game. Everyone kind of left me in place. But in this circumstance, I'm joined at the hip with Heron. My perspective is I understand where Heron's coming from. I wouldn't have behaved in all the ways that Heron behaved. But at the end of the day, I didn't particularly like the way Lorenzo used the audio. I would have done things very differently. I do like Lorenzo's podcast, but Lorenzo could have reached out and done things very, very differently. And to find offense in a circumstance which was ultimately Lorenzo's own creation, I don't know. I tried to make peace so many times, and I can't understand how the thing ended up the way it ended up. It just seemed so stupid and so much a waste of my time. I invested about 5 hours in reading all the documentation that went into the podcast recording that Lorenzo used, and in total, I think I'm just going to move away from the whole circumstance. Obviously, I'm going to continue to record with Heron. That's an ongoing thing. But the podcast recordings I was going to do for Lorenzo and all the other related work that I had, I got better things to do with my time. I've got plenty of other projects that I need to work on. And quite frankly, I just need to start devoting my energy to other things. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.